tutorial again. I bring to you another tutorial on mastering Afrobeat. But in this case, this is an Afro R&B. So you can see the wave. I've already mixed them down, but I left some kind of little headroom to master it to the nice range acceptable overall volume gauge level. So for all platforms to listen to and stream. So that is it. I'm gonna play this song and then show you the work that was done. So I'm gonna dig at the effects and the processes uh, that was made on this beat in order to master it. So just later in without any mastering effects. As you guys see it out now, as you can see right now, I've already disengaged all the effect slots from here. So let's listen to how it sounds. I'll tell you what I've done. So if you can see very well, if I zoom in, see it's a nicely treated frequencies. I'm gonna show you how it sounds like and how it looks like on the spectrum with our EQ view. So you see how it can be. So let's listen to it without being messed up.
Ready to serve all.
You can actually barely hear it because it's really quite low now. No problem. So from okay, that's it. Now from my mixing decisions, this is what from my perception, this based on the requirement of what the person wanted on this project. So this is soft kind of Afro R&B. So this is what we can achieve, and this sounds good to me based on how I described it. This is kind of soft. You can hear the arrangement. That's limits though. Every individual instrument coming in, but on the mastering part right now, we're working with frequencies, making sure that the final audio file is really sounding where there are an optimal level of overall volume range where all instruments are picking at a particular level and it's actually pleasing sounding. So little thing will be done, which I'm gonna share to you right now. Alright, I left the headroom of 25 dB on this mixdown before bringing it into this mastering process. So now the first thing I do on my mastering stage is to highlight or select, make a loop of the place where I want to focus, because you need to focus on the loudest point where all the instruments are playing all together so that we can take overall decisions on them and make sure that when I flex all the frequency response of each instrument and making sure that they are picking very well. So now let's go, you've heard it. Now if I could highlight this point now. Alright, let's start from here now. Okay, I'm gonna solo the effect now, or even now all the instruments are muted right now. I mean the plugins that I was using to process the beat, because I wanna master it. So first thing to do is to go on a master channel strip. Now this is the beat. The beat was routed to the second channel strip on my door. So I go to my masters and also solo, or rather, sorry, yeah, I've muted all the effects so I can put it on now, and also put this one on now. I'm gonna show you what I made. The first thing I made, like I said, sometimes like the Afro beat, don't just start putting things, just make sure that you are significant of what of the changes you wanna effect on the beat. From what I'm listening to, sometimes I throw in my filter pro EQ. What do I wanna do with that? Sometimes I set a brick wall EQ to the high end and the low end part of the overall frequency spectrum range, so that we don't get on this kind of upset or the frequencies escaping from the frequency range part, so that we don't get all the type of distraction somehow, because we want to strike a peaceful balance with the ways the instrument goes. So now what happened was that, let me engage stock now. It's activated. As you can see, there's some kind of uneven balance from the view of the signals coming through the 5 filter pro EQ, and you see the second of balance except for the mid side. Around there in the mid side, you see that it's wide, it's up to low, so that my decision towards that was to create a little bit of headroom for the vocal to come in and sit properly. So that's why I separated early. But I'm gonna take a decision and boost it a little bit. Haven't done the brick wall lane, so, and I tried doing the brick wall lane like a low chord brick wall lane, yeah, setting it around. But first, I need to toggle in between, let's say around here. Okay, this was something like this. Okay, but it takes sound away from me, because the brick wall is not, I don't really need the brick wall. If I try to make it a high-end brick wall, high cut brick wall, let's see. Then I see, I'm trying to toggle between the sense and see what happens. Yeah, I think the brick wall for the high cut is really cool here. But let's say I'm adding in another brick wall. Yeah, that's cool. That's the first thing I do. So putting a brick wall so that there's no other excesses going in. Sometimes this is what dithering can offer you by the end of your mastering, and you're trying to Spotify. Your data and takes other unwanted frequencies contributing, resonant sounding going on now. Then I could open up a little bit and create some kind of dynamic control. You can see that. I like it like this. So what I did was a little bit EQ takeaway, like I was doing some kind of EQ with the production by 1 dB, and then I'm controlling the dynamics around the band. This is around 282 hex around the beat pass, so that you don't give room for some kind of modding it. So on the overall mix, by reserve of the brick walling that was just made, because it's like collapsing everything. But there shall be open up. Now you can see if I shoot more than like 5%, you can see the changes that was made. Before, it sounds like this, like I disengage this thing very well. Now you see, I just engaged the brick walling effect that I made. Now you see, it sounded peacefully open, and then trying to focus your attention to the image of the sound. That's how I can say it, centered everywhere, all around. So, but there's another decision. I'm kind of thinking the mid-range instruments are quite a little bit lower, so I'm just gonna do some kind of little bit boosting around the mid-part frequencies. Instruments are musical instruments and sounds, samples that are responded at the medium frequencies from the overall frequency spectrum, overall range, as you can see popping up. So let's put this one here to be on standby. Where wheels? Okay, so standby. So I'm gonna pull up a German EQ that was made by my friend, so just created. On the later on, I'm gonna be showing you, sharing with you my patcher processing chain, the mixtures of processing with stock plugins and third-party plugins in the patcher, because I have different perceptions in my sound or audio or signal flow mixing and processing. So that's the way I like doing that. So patcher gives you the opportunity to tweak it like the way you want it, to determine your flow and every effect and everything you're trying to achieve, the sonic shape effect you're trying to achieve. Now based on sound designing that I'm doing, so I tweak my sounds on my own. So, and in that case, I use patcher sometimes mastering my beat, because that's the way I want the workflow, the signal flow to be affected, and that's why I do that. As you can see, this is the surface, but you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. So when you get to the mapping, this is how a patcher looks in the Fruity Loops. And you're seeing all the stuff. These are just like automations and controllers that the surface is doing. So this is behind the scene. This is the signal flow from Fruity Loops here. There was an EQ that was introduced here from here, going back to the output Fruity Loops, and there was a Fruity S controller there. All this is controlling by automation different levels of EQ and range by filtering, boosting to give you different kinds of sonic shape. So on the surface, it was collapsed everything, compressed to a standard British EQ. But the name is here from my friend. He said it's a German EQ, but it's still a normal graphic British EQ. You have the high end band, mid band, and low band. So look at the boosting that I made. Everything was on. Okay, let me put that on. I'm gonna put that on default. Everything on default. Then I'm gonna engage the EQ layer. Say, see the part that I wanna boost and cut out, so that, because from what I'm I'm gonna play the beat again. You see, I wanna boost out a little bit the mid range right now up, and then take a little bit of the low end. But although I like the way it's bouncing, it's really balanced. Quality up there or the high frequency. But if I'm gonna touch the high end frequencies for the shakers to stick at more like a pronounced feeling, then I need to boost a little bit on the low part. But first of all, let's start off with the mid first. Listen carefully. Over here. Now, if you take everything on just the low and so sometimes you can get saturated to find out the shape of what you're looking for your mid. There's no more. Your most really sounds clean, so I can increase a little bit around here. So high end. So the change is what I mean was around plus 4 to 5 dB, not really huge based on the scale that was routed there. I haven't checked on the automation effect here, so the scaling is not much. So this is about 3 to 4 even boosting dB boosted on the main frequency, as you can see here coming up. So and that introduced like a 2 dB of the high end where we get the shakers and high highs and all the high end percussion instrument responding around the set frequencies. Yeah, and I like the way it sounding, but I think this is okay for me. So this is how it sounds. It's 11. If I should bypass the bow plugins that I just added, you see a change, transition. Now haven't bypassed. Look at how it's sounding. This was how it was sounding before. Not really cool, although it sounded way, but not really pronounced individually. Now watch this. I'm gonna engage over here. Now I can feel the percussion shakers on their own. Now what's the next thing that I did? I brought in another EQ. I don't plan to waste time on this tutorial, so this EQ was just like giving a space a little bit for the transient flow of the kick, like some kind of breathing. But better around there. It's okay for me. So what I did, I'm gonna enable the fruity limiter. What I'm gonna show you what I did there. I'm gonna pull that on reset, show you what I did. Then I found that some of the instruments are actually nailing, so I'm just gonna raise that up a little bit. Good. Okay, yeah, around there, but you use your threshold coming down a little bit around this corner is okay. Later on, just a subtle touch. Yeah. I'm okay with that level. It's okay for now. So now it's okay for me, just a subtle touch, because the sound is really sounding well based previous mix down and mix, so the mastering doesn't need much, just up the touch. So this was what I could have achieved. Now, if I disengage the effect, we'll hear again and see the transition that was made with the four processes here. The brick wall, German EQ for boosting, uh, a little takeaway to give space for the kick to breathe dynamically. You feeling it? So, and then we use a limiter to balance evenly the overall frequency, make sure that there's not too much nailing of the frequencies and using ratio to get an even balance. Now it's bypass, listen to before and after. Now over here, if you see it's bypass, now let's listen to it. I'm gonna toggle activate it right now so that you hear with the effect. Over here, please watch this. Cool. Exactly, it's off from this is where I want it. Don't worry when we start maximizing and start taking the overall mix to the range where we're picking around 0 dB. You can feel it right now. You can hear the subtle processing that was made, but right now it sounded really cool. So we'll move down to a master chain. Now you enable your limiter. My limiter is already there, making sure that it's, although I left some kind of headroom so there's no clipping going. So I make use of waves loudness meter too. This loudness unit relative to full scale where you determine the level where you're picking. So for this type of Afro genre, Afro R&B, I like picking around -14 for an optimal level, with a true peak out ceiling of -1 dB. I don't want to start hitting direct because 0 dB or peaking from 0 dB, because there's a reason for that for all the streaming platforms and like YouTube and other platforms. We don't want to make it so loud because it's a soft, not like an idiot, you know. So this is okay. -4 is okay for me, but some people like mastering around -12. Once a long time loves the loud is really too low. It's hitting around -13, -12, or even -9. But I don't wanna go. I don't want to go that loud because it's just like a soft trying to R&B song. So if I can be hitting around -14, that is so cool for me. So I'll reset that. So when I activate, we'll make sure what we have around there, around -20. Like I told you, I left headroom of this is what I use to measure my love room. This VU meter for signal gauge flow of the overall sounds of the headroom to know how it sounds like. Initially, my initial mix, this VU meter was applied that way. I was using headroom around there of 25. That's why it's pretty low so during my mastering. But right now I've taken up to headroom of 8 because I tend to push this up. When I start pushing up, you start hearing the sweetness pattern dynamic range where what I did that time when I was using 25 dB headroom, you will see it transcend around 8 dB headroom because we will start pushing the maximus or the limiter, increasing the overall gain to start hitting around. If you see from the scale meter here on the master set, we are barely hitting around around -5, -3. Yeah, around 6, 5, 4 dB. So now activate that. It's quite low, so I haven't activated. You see the gauge is quite low, so we need to push that right now. So that's when I'm gonna use my Maximus. If I enable Maximus, you see what I've done. Okay, I'm gonna deactivate to start from beginning. Let me reset all the stuff so that I show you what I've done. In fact, let's put a default. It's on default now, so engaging it. This is where we'll take what I'm trying to achieve with a maximum right now is get an overall volume range because everything is resounding dynamically the way I want it to sound. Really pleasing for me. See from the bass down. So what I did from the maximum gave you an opportunity to solo individual bands. Right now I just solo the high frequency part of the maximum. And if you want to view only this is the output. I'm interested on the output pics of that, and this is the indicators on your monitor spectrum. If you use X, that's for your showing input bands, but I'm only interested on the output pics right now. So for the high, let's say I think it's really sounding well, but maybe I've done boosting. So what I'm gonna do is to make an image, stereo imaging, where I'm separating morely the high end frequency, stereoizing them like a more of a separation to create an image. So what I do is I solo it to get nice data. So I'm gonna move left. If you're moving left, you're stereo separating the frequency, but if you're going right, you're merging to the center like this. As you can see the effect. You see now everything is centered to your brain. It's just in center. So now all the way to the you know now all the way to the left is sterilizing it. So but I just needed a soft effect. Around 24 14% is okay for me. See how that's cool. Okay, then for the mid, let's see how it sound. Okay, that's really cool, but I can expose it a little bit because I see it's really trapped on the center. I like the image. 14 is also good. Alright, 20 is cool for me. You can see that. Awesome. Awesome. And for the low frequency, look at how it sounds, but sometimes I don't like. I like pushing, merging out of low frequency to the middle, so that's what drives the energy of the overall mix. So that it can be nice separated, even with your vocals. That percent is okay for me, so but I can boost a little bit. Now let's switch. Boy, I think that's much. 120 is better. So this is it. Now what I can do is on the master track. I'm gonna mess right now. Now we're looking at this. Remember this is the input picks, which I'm gonna reduce a little bit. Better now. So we're interested on the output picks. Where I'm raising things up right now. Everything is biting and kicking around. Okay, I think it's quite cool around. But I can see compressed there. Let's see. Now, when you reset the, so we can determine the level where we're picking right now. So around 15 is quite good. But if you wanna push that up a little bit more, start to the level we are wanting for this Afro beat. Okay, now that's everything about it. So and I'm just gonna detach it a little bit. Let's see what happens. Now that sounds okay. Yeah, I'm gonna talk cool before and after. You see how it was before, but when I engage it, it is already mastered to the high level of hearing. So that's the way I master my beats. Okay, I like it picking it right there from the gauge. So that's everything. Good luck, guys. I hope that was helpful for you. So remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and comment. Use the link below and enjoy yourself. Have fun. Oh no, no, no. Yeah. Really sounding like a bought in the know. You could do it for like I could do. Yeah. Try to say some shit now. Try to do some fixing how I do it. Scrutinize one. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh na 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 na. Yeah, yeah. Dance along. That's along. Wow, it's really sounding way to me now. Everything is coming over. That's awesome. So this is the way you master your Afro R&B. Now I approach my mastering in different ways, in various ways. just depending on the genre of music. So if you want me to master your song, so I do beat creation from scratch and I master my sound. So when I export this stuff, you see the wave is gonna be different. Everything will be hitting. Although if you see from here, it's just around minus dB. So see you later. Good luck. Bye.